Hello, my name is Julia Rose. Welcome to my channel. Just clearing the space before we get started, clearing your energy. Take a deep breath with me. Blessing the space, blessing your energy, protecting your energy, protecting the space as we get sacred messages for you all today. Let's see. So much was coming up before I even sat down. So the first thing briefly is that Saturn went direct on November 4th. So this means, vaguely, I'm not an astrologist, I just understand a fraction of what I've been told, which is what I'm about to tell you, and that is the hard lessons are over for a time. Everything we've worked really hard to overcome in the last 2 years, but especially the last 6 months, I'm hearing, is going to pay off. Karmic debts have been paid, is what I'm hearing. Or they're about to be paid, and you're about to watch it go down. So that was another thing that was coming up, was that so let's keep in mind that according to Western astrology, we are in Scorpio season, water sign, ruler of the underworld, radical transformation, also generational change. But according to Vedic astrology, this is still a Libra period, so it's a time of karmic justice and balancing the scales. So Saturn coming direct in the Libran time is potent, because I'm hearing that we're going to see the quicker reaction to our action. Like sometimes the gap between these two can span lifetimes, but things are speeding up. Time is shifting as we understand it. Funny enough, we just went through daylight savings a couple nights ago. So you're going to be feeling the effects of the time bending, if you will. So, okay, another thing that was coming up was that people are going to get karma for the way that they treated you, whether that's positive or negative. And part of me is like, oh, I kind of want to see what they're gonna get. But I don't think it's really any of my business. Shoot me a comment down below if you actually want to get into that a bit more. But they also wanted me to come bring up this old sheet that I channeled maybe a month and a half ago, and have been waiting for the right time. I've been waiting for them to tell me, my guides and the divine, to tell me when I should speak about these things. So yeah, I spoke a little bit on reptilians in a couple of my videos, one of them more obviously. But where do you want me to start today? Really? Me like, oh, I'm so excited to go give a message to my people today. But no, they're like, we're gonna start with talking about black magic. So please, not right now. See, okay, so that's funny, because as soon as the message came through that I wanted to, or that they wanted me to speak on this, my dog starts barking, a car goes by. It's like all these things trying to divert my attention. So you could find that, well, this is a very, very common interference tactic, is to throw as many distractions as possible your way so that you'll forget what you were starting to do. You'll forget who you are. You'll forget why you came here, what your mission is, who you as a soul are, and what that means. Whether you're an earth angel, a star seed, or a sinner turned saint. So often these attacks occur in the dream space or at night when we are more vulnerable and susceptible, given I'm hearing cover of night, but also the moon rules over the water, and our bodies are like fluid, primarily made of fluids, 70% water maybe. And so this means that, the moon is also the ruler of psychism, and one of the enhancers of it, I should say, not the ruler. One of the enhancers of psychism. So it's a time when the gap between your conscious and subconscious and unconscious minds feels a lot thinner. Even though it is always that thin, our perception of it changes given the energies that we are under the influence of. So why am I talking about the dream space? The dream space is very active. You find that sometimes you sleep and can sleep for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours and wake up as if you had no rest. It's because your spirit, your energy bodies were very active. And sometimes you can be astral traveling, sometimes you can be going back in time to look at memories or certain events through a different lens. Sometimes this is where your guides or certain entities will try to communicate with you, convene with you. And these things, they're all neutral. What makes them dark or invasive is the energy that is the intention that these energies bring towards you. So for example, in one of my last videos, I was talking about energetic rape, and that's something that can happen in the dream space as well. You can find yourself being attacked sexually, and other times, so when we're not consciously aware that this is something that can happen, and our guides and the divine are still protecting us, they'll keep us awake. So we might be tired and want to sleep, but we won't be able to fall asleep because we're being protected from something that would occur if our defenses were lower, meaning that we were not consciously in our vessels, our physical vessels. Why are we talking about this? Okay, so when you want to protect yourself from these energies, there's a lot of things you could do. There's a lot of things you could do. Should I mention that now? Okay, I don't want to forget. So, when you're going to sleep, it's imperative that you set an intention for your space. It also helps. Actually, is that true? I'm hearing that the time you fall asleep also makes a difference in how sort of shielded or protected you are when you're going into the sleep space. The earlier you fall asleep after sundown, the earlier you will rise in the morning. So you're taking in the energy of that time period into your sleep space, so you're more protected. I find that the most of the attacks, at least the things that I've had to deal with, have occurred after midnight, like really peaking between 1 and 3 a.m. Maybe 4, depends. So yes, just be mindful that you are nourishing your body properly also, because the foods that you eat will also influence how protected you are from various occurrences. The thing is with large scale we'll call it hypnosis. Large scale hypnosis. Nothing can be done to you without your consent, either consciously or unconsciously. It can't just be, I'm speaking in terms of mass control. Really, I'm gonna get shadow banned even worse for this. Are you kidding me? They have to show you before they do anything. They have to plant the seeds in your mind before they actually follow through on any of this stuff. Because if you weren't at least a little bit exposed to it, it wouldn't have a gateway into your consciousness. If your aura is sealed, if you're not watching or taking in any of this stuff, they're pressuring me to use the word propaganda. If you're not taking in any of this stuff, then your aura remains sealed and you are steady in your powerful light vibration. Wow, so not what I thought I was going to be saying on here today. So, what even constitutes a psychic attack? What constitutes a malevolent action? This could be, honestly, it could just be someone's thoughts about you. Because thoughts have charge. They have currents and potency. Whether they manage to reach you is a different story, but that depends on how connected they actually are to you. Whether they can find one of those gateways into your aura, into your energy bodies. So what does that mean? How do you know if you have an opening in your aura, in your energy bodies? How do you know if you have an implant? Well, you have you guys are ridiculous. You have someone like me to tell me to tell you that you have an implant or you have some sort of scuffing on your aura, on your energy field, on your shields. You've got feeling emotions that aren't yours. That's a huge one. Whether that's coming through energy cords or through that's a really great example. So if you're watching a movie and it's getting you, if it's drawing you in and you're opening yourself up to it, I mean, that's you willingly opening the gate to having your emotional states and your being impacted by whatever it is you're observing. Through energetic cords, these are etheric ties between people. Sometimes if someone doesn't want to process an emotion, they can unconsciously or consciously send it to someone they're attached to and be like, oh, well, they'll deal with it. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were doing all the heavy emotional lifting for both of you? That's what that is. The key is, like, these things, these invasions, shall I say, they need some sort of go-ahead from you. Which is why with the math skill hypnosis, it's like they have to show you what they're doing before they do it. Why do I say these things? Like with the Marvel movies, they're a really great example of you being shown, of them showing you what they're going to do before they do it. I remember, from my own experience, I watched, what was it, The Flash? Like earlier this year, maybe a few months ago. And that movie was all about, oh my God, I'm literally reading a book about that right now. About time traveling, but also jumping into different dimensions. And this is all predicated on an understanding of the multiverse, of parallel universes, but more intimately an understanding of timelines. So the idea with parallel universes or the multiverse is that, for example, we're here living on Earth right now. You're here watching this video, and you are you. In a parallel universe, you may or may not be watching this video. Okay. Oh my God, there's so much to this. Because parallel universes can either look very similar or they can look extremely different. And they all have what's called this last common event if they are to verge in very different ways. So in that way, they're parallel in that they're side by side. That they're all under a similar influence of time. That time is operating the same way in these universes, in the multiverse. Okay. And so you exist probably in most of these. In the I'm sorry. My mind is like, there's so much flooding into me right now that I'm having a hard time just spitting it all out. So you're either in the universes that are very similar to this one, you are likely to be you, maybe with a different name, maybe the same name, and only a few differences, like what you ate for breakfast this morning, or whether you even ate breakfast this morning. Those subtle shifts, every choice you make puts you on a different timeline. So you can jump into timelines that are mirroring the you that exists in these different dimensions. Isn't that crazy? So sometimes you'll find that these universes, these parallel existences, they converge. Usually when you make a very, 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 very profound, altering the course of your life decision. I can tell you, for example, once I went to a place roughly an hour from where I live, and one time I was there, I was getting a necklace fixed for a friend, and I went in, I observed all these different things about this shop, and one thing particular stood out to me. It was one of my spirit guides on the wall, and certain cases of the jewelry in this shop were laid out in a particular way. And they were like, okay, yeah, come back in a couple days, we'll have this fixed for you. So I go back a couple days later. The town isn't the same. It's not the same town. Like, it goes by a different name, a very subtle shift where they almost sound the same, but it's not the same name. I'm driving around like, what the hell's happening? And this, I see that, like, the streets look the same. This giant body of water running through the town is the same. This bridge is the same. This street corner is the same. I find the same jewelry shop. I was like, part of me was afraid I wasn't going to be there. And I go inside, and they recognize me. And I look around, and the jewelry cases are different. My animal totem, the spirit guide that made sure that I found her in there, wasn't there. Not hanging on the wall. And I asked the woman, I was like, hey, did you happen to change any of these cases in the last few days? They're like, no, nothing's changed. I was losing my mind. I asked around other people. They said there had been no change to the name of this town. Crazy, right? This stuff happens. And some of you might be thinking, this girl's like out of her mind. And maybe I am. Maybe I am. Or maybe I happen to believe all the stuff that I read in fantasy books growing up, because that made sense to me. It felt real. It felt more real than getting up and going to school and sitting in that building designed by prison architects for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. Maybe it made a little more sense to me. I don't know. So, my point is, your choices can cause these places to shift. But it's more interesting because it's actually you that changed. So therefore, the world that you lived in changed. Does that mean that you hopped out of this universe and jumped into the next universe? I'm hearing yes. I was about to say, I don't know, but I'm hearing yes. Why is this stuff kept only in the global conditioning as fantasy, as science fiction, as science taken to the nth degree? Maybe they'd realize they couldn't actually control you. That you would realize how powerful you were. And that the world we live in is far more mysterious and miraculous than they want us to know. So why do I bring up all of this timeline jumping, parallel universes, multiverse, like mind-bending stuff? The point was that they have to show you what they're planning to do before they do it. Now, does this Now I'm picturing like Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort going like abracadabra, and like going at one another. Is that like the same kind of thing? No, it's not. Because that's not on the scale of mass control. On the scale of mass control, they need a doorway in. They need some degree of consent. Because hypnosis doesn't work if you don't want to be hypnotized. Yeah, bird coming in here like, yeah, say it. Mass hypnosis, literally, mass hypnosis does not work if you don't consent. So if you don't consent, they try to scare you into consenting. What about contracts? Really? Okay. So one of the last points I made in the last video where I was touching on all this kind of stuff was the slave driving energy, because what came out was the devil. That was the card that came out of the tarot. And this is that same energy or same thing that I'm speaking about that is effecting the mass hypnosis. The energies, or shall we say agents, working on behalf of the fiduciary are all bound by contracts. And this goes for really any power head offering some sort of reward in exchange for their service. What about the contracts? So in these contracts, these agents have to sell their soul. You pledge allegiance. Oh, that gave me like really icky chills. And these contracts are made to false idols. Let's get the tarot. There's something here to this that they're not telling me off the bat. So like very clearly, I'm not getting the picture. Can you explain the picture to me, please? About contracts and false idols. Okay. Yep. Okay. So why does anyone even think that these contracts are the right way to go with these false idols, or the people offering power, prestige, fame, glory, whatever the heck it is that they want? They're a fast track to it. That's the hook, is the speed with which this stuff occurs. I got the 8 of Wands. So the speed at which people attain their goals, their dreams, or whatever it is, the billions. The ones offering these These agents don't understand that they're getting the short end of the stick. They don't understand fully the consequences that will result from these actions. I'm hearing that is about to change. I started this video talking about Saturn and karma and how shall we say the reaction time to one's actions is going to be a lot sooner. So sorry, I'm tongue-tied talking about these things because these are never like conversations that I have with people. It's all just like things that I study, things that I learn, things that I experience. I'm never like out here talking to people about these things. And they're like, get on YouTube and talk about it. All right, y'all are too much. So yeah, some of these videos I've been joking about seeing, or something that I say is like, when approaching conversations like this or coming against people's matrix conditioning, you'll find that they start to like twitch and glitch, and you'll see how there's like a program built into their subconscious mind that immediately will just clap back at whatever you say. So there's no, it's like immediately ejecting whatever it is, the seed of truth, of consciousness that you were trying to plant into their minds. So why the fuck do I have to get up on here and talk about all these things so like blandly? It's because the time of disclosure is upon us. The things that are done in the dark will come to light. Always. Always. There's no way to romanticize blood sacrifices. Okay? No way. Absolutely no way. And now my brain is like twitching and glitching, trying to understand like how, like, the things that I've been taught, how I'm still supposed to hold compassion hold compassion for people that actively choose this, like to actually be devil worshippers. What else? I'm getting distortion. What's this distortion about? Oh shit. Sorry, excuse my language, please. Actually, I don't apologize, forgive me or not. Whatever. Yeah, a distortion. Holy. Ooh, no. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Okay, I don't know if anyone here has seen the show on Netflix called The Magicians. But there's this, they're showing me this, it's a very lucid example of this hypnosis, but the hypnosis of the agents. Okay, wow, thank you. Because I'm sitting here like, what? So they're packaging all of their hopes and dreams. I mean, I suppose you too. All of your hopes and dreams into this beautiful ornate package that seems so simple, and they're presenting themselves to be the Most High, or someone with the authority to give you what you want. They're not actually, It's a form of brainwashing on their behalf. I mean, the person offering exactly what it is that they want is offering these things while like while like putting a hallucination over these people. Like it's mind control. So yes, these people sign up for this, but they're not actually aware of what exactly is fully happening on the greater scales. This shit works as a hierarchy. Only the people up here understand exactly how every single puppet string is being pulled. You might have been seeing in the news, I'll finish this example in a moment, but you might have been seeing in the news, because they're bringing this up to me for like the 4th time. You might have seen in the news, here we go, how certain artists at concerts, certain fan bases at concerts are experiencing really strange experiences, whether it's losing your memory, or I'm not going to drop names here because it's there's enough red flags in this video for the people that scam through them for shadow banning. People actually being knocked to the ground by surges of energy, or seeing these artists' faces like melt and stop functioning properly. Because what happened is they surrendered themselves, they submitted to a false idol. And this false idol, when they submitted, they gave the doorway in. And now their energy, it's like their vessel is a host for this energy. Whether they're fully 100% conscious of exactly what it is that they're doing, I cannot say. I don't know. They don't want me to know, because I'll just sit here and think about it for too long. But I'm seeing like the veil of this hallucination, this fog, this false dream is going to be ripped back. It's inevitable. It's inevitable in the age of Aquarius that stuff doesn't fly. There's no room for it. I'm just pondering. I'm asking, like, how is it that karmically this is like what is their situations karmically that this is happening? Well, I mean, it goes without saying that all this stuff is accruing serious debts on their part. Could it also be possible that they were coerced? Can't rule it out. But you notice so that's like more gruesome, large scale possession. Anyone that has any sort of possession or attachment that is controlling them, you can notice in their eyes. You can notice the sort of the vacancy or the emptiness, like they're being remotely controlled. It's sad. It's freaking devastating. what else here about it? Oh. Sorry, they're just laughing at me. My guides. Well, I'm laughing at me and they're telling me things. So, Kate, tell me more about that. I'm getting like a crossroads. It's a crossroads energy. Oh. What? Take them? Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, try again. Tell me about this crossroads. Oh, really? People, okay, so some of these individuals will have the opportunity to break these contracts. Uh-huh. I don't like that. I don't like that. What is this? I'm just responding to the energy that's coming through. It's like really unsettling. Hurts. That really hurts. This crossroads energy, I got 3 of Cups, Death. I can't even say it. You can look at it. The King of Pentacles, the 3 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords. Snakes. Serpents. Why? Yes, they're reptilian, but why? So the snake represents so many different things. It's a symbol of death and rebirth. The serpent is the symbol of the Kundalini energy that goes up the spine. It's also a backstabbing energy. I'm getting, again, this hallucinogenic. The venom, the toxins of, I can't even look at the card. Like they're pumping shit into the air. They're pumping shit into the air that keeps people's defenses low. Oh, fuck's sake. That keeps people's defenses low and makes them easier targets. Y'all, you better be careful if you're going out to these concerts. Like, you better be careful, okay? Because they will take you in for whatever ritual. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit. Again, it's also Scorpio season, right? It's Scorpio season, so it's time to take a real good hard look at all the things that aren't so great in the world, but also get to the truth. Because if we just sit here and say, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, or they did this, she did that, he said this. Okay, well, what's the point of telling the story if you're not actually going to get to the bottom of it? It's just keeping you in this fog of hysteria. No. Choose clarity. Choose the transformation that gives rebirth. I'm a little like, what deck? Do we have to close on this? I really would not like to close on this. Can you, what else? What else would you like the viewers to know? You can't give me the same cards in a different deck. You can't do that. Got the 8 of Wands again. So, okay, because it's a time of disclosure, because none of their efforts will actually prevail, light worker, star seed, earth angel, sinner turned saint, because they're seeing that more people are waking up to the truth or being introduced to the truth. Some truths, the one truth is God. All truths above that or below that or leading up to God, which God just keeps getting higher and higher and higher because omniscient and infinite. The truths that ascend are just perspectives. So that's what this is. Ascending perspectives. Like they're running out of time. They're running out of time. Which is why also some of these things are happening a bit more boldly. And it's not as subtle as it used to be. Because they can't afford to be subtle anymore. They know they're getting kicked off, kicked out. Duh. 10 of Swords. They know they're getting kicked off, kicked out of this planet. So I'm not getting into that right now. Yeah. So ultimately, I'm seeing you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Who are you going to be in this? Who are you going to be in this? Yeah, 5 of Swords, the World, 8 of Cups. Who are you going to be in this? Are you gonna stay here in manipulation, conflict, abuse? Or are you gonna say, fuck that, I'm out. I'm out. No, we're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of that. We're moving past it because there's no room for it where we're going. You have to be ready to let go. You have to be ready to let go of everything you ever thought about who you are, about this place that you live in, about your family, about your friends, about your education, about your workplace, about the economy, about food, about everything. 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 It won't happen overnight. But it's happening soon. Very soon. You can probably feel it if you tune in. Listen to the wind. Listen to the trees, the grass, the skies. They're talking to you. They're waiting for you to take a moment and tune in to hear what they have to say. Do I really have to say it? The thing that I was screaming about like a few minutes ago that I did not want to say was that I've seen visions of the end of the world as we know it. I'm not going to tell you what I saw because I'm not ready to put that in a video. But I can tell you that that is what I saw. You're like, who is she that she gets to see these things? Who the fuck is she that she's talking about all this stuff? How does she know any of this? She making it all up? She's crazy. No one's gonna believe her anyway. Well, then you're not my audience. Get out. Goodbye. In the age of Aquarius, telepathic communication is coming back online. I'm hearing frequency is everything. Frequency is everything. Frequency is everything. Everything is frequency. So study up. Study up on your physics. Study up on your sound harmonics. Because everything is frequency. Gosh, I've said it in the last few videos. I'll say it in this one also. You are so protected. You are so protected. And your best protection is not just your prayer, but it's also the truth. The truth will set you free. It's so cliche, but it's true. The truth will set you free. It will protect you. Because when you are coming from a place of clarity, not from a place of hallucination or hypnosis, you cannot be gaslit. You cannot be convinced. You cannot be conned. Literally, 7 of Swords on the bottom of this deck. They cannot fool you if you know the truth. I'm hearing the ritual worship, the ritual worship. What about the ritual worship? Well, 1 is just be careful of it. Be careful. 2 is know who you worship. Know who you take orders from. Oh, I think that's it. That's it for this video. Literally. We're ending with the Empress. We're ending with the freaking Empress. You will come out on top because it's the rise of the divine feminine. It's the rise of the feminine. And the distorted feminine will try to take down the divine feminine. Light will prevail. God will prevail. Love will prevail. You have to choose it. God bless you. God bless your life. God bless your family and your loved ones. I will see you in the next video.